Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 25th of March 2024 and the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is definitely doing a lot better considering the fact that last week the prices of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market was on a downtrend, isn't it? But today, guys, the numbers are definitely looking good. Definitely not best, but definitely better than last week. Now in today's episode, guys, we're going to be discussing a bold move from El Salvador, and that is to do with President Nayib Bukele, and he's actually announced buying 1 Bitcoin every day. So I'll definitely go and discuss what this news is all about. Now look, guys, a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists are not happy what that Bitcoin was make a legal tender in El Salvador. And in today's episode, I'll go ahead and revisit some of the ideas when Bitcoin was actually made a legal tender. And I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it as well. Now guys, in the world of Ethereum, there is a lot of drama going on, isn't it? Last week, we talked about SEC going after Ethereum. And the Ethereum ETF was also delayed as well. Now in today's episode, guys, the news is indirectly connected to Ethereum. It is more to do with Polygon actually. But the unfortunate news is that the Polygon ZkEVM or Zero Knowledge Proof EVM machine has been halted. And I'll go ahead and discuss what has happened and how has the community reacted to it. Now look, guys, unfortunately such thing is definitely not right. And also if you look at the timing of it, last few days there were negative news surrounding Ethereum. So we'll definitely go and discuss what this news is all about. Now, we also have some news all the way from Europe, guys, and there is a very high possibility on the ban of crypto transaction, and the European Parliament Committee has already gone ahead and approved a ban on cryptocurrency transaction via hosted wallets, and we'll definitely go and discuss what this news is all about. And guys, unfortunately on Monday, I do have another negative news, and that is to do with the tech giant called as Apple, and this is mostly to do with the M series, and looks like there are some crypto vulnerabilities. And some security researchers have discovered some vulnerabilities in Apple M series, so I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. Now look, Tim Cook is definitely not a massive fan of cryptocurrencies on his platform. He definitely likes Bitcoin, and he definitely likes cryptocurrency as well. But he's clearly stated that he will not be allowing users to go ahead and onboard cryptocurrency, isn't it? But so far as M series is concerned, guys, there is definitely a vulnerability, and we'll go ahead and discuss what the vulnerability is all about. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, I'm going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, has to do with an event I'm conducting on the 15th of April, and I usually tend to conduct this session once a month. And the first session, guys, has to do with Metaverse, and I'm going to be talking about everything regarding Metaverse, that is the hype, the reality and new world order surrounding Metaverse. And this session, guys, is completely free of cost. And if you guys do want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now in today's episode, guys, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and give a brief explanation on what is it that you can go ahead and expect at that session. And the second session, guys, is also on the 15th of April. But this session, guys, has to do with central bank digital currency. So I'll go ahead and explain central bank digital currency, the basics, threats to freedom and its role in the metaverse. And guys, in this session, I'm also going to make a quick comparison between CBDCs, that is central bank digital currency, and Bitcoin. And to be honest, guys, a lot of people still don't know the difference between CBDCs and Bitcoin, so I'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now look, guys, as much as I dislike saying this, despite CBDCing being a threat to the role of freedom, it does pose certain benefits as well, and also they can go ahead and implement certain things that Ethereum has done, that is to do with burning, that would actually help better manage inflation, so I'll definitely go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode, so let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us. From the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Tough Mudder Arabia, guys, they are putting some really iconic events in the Middle East, and there is one final event of the season that takes place on the 20th of April in the iconic location called as Al Marjan in Ras Al Khaimah. And the final event of the season, guys, is not going to be an ordinary event. They're going to be having some really cool obstacles. And so far as Tough Mudder is concerned, guys, they create hardcore obstacle courses designed to test your all-round strength, stamina and mental grit. And with the most innovative courses and millions of participants all around the world, it is the premier challenge series in the world. Now look at Tough Mudder Arabia, they did put out, if not one of the biggest events in the world of obstacle course race, and they did that with the highest prize money in the history of obstacle course race. And what better way to end the series by having one final event on the 20th of April in the iconic location. Now look, guys, one of my goals is to complete 100 Tough Mudder, and I'm very close to getting there. Now if you want to go ahead and sign up for this event, the registration link is in the show notes below. So what are you waiting for, guys? Get your friends, get your family members, get your colleagues. The link to the registration for Tough Mudder Arabia on the 20th of April is in the show notes below. And if you go through the link, guys, there is a cool discount code mentioned in the show notes below as well. So hopefully, guys, I see you at the Tough Mudder event. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI.
Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now mind you guys, I'm looking at these numbers in the early hours in Dubai, and considering the fact that it is 8 AM in the morning, the numbers are definitely looking good because it is still Sunday in most of the Western countries now, isn't it? Now so far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, guys, it is at $2.55 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.71%. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, it is less than $100 billion. But to be honest, guys, I'm quite content with these numbers, because if you look at the price of Bitcoin in the global cryptocurrency market, they definitely have some signs of bullish indicators. It is definitely not great since the last few weeks, but considering the fact that the numbers did actually go down, if you were to compare these numbers to last week, it is significantly better, to be honest. Now, the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, actually has gone down by 1.26% since the last 24 hours. Now, if you look at the volume in DeFi, it is well below the $8 billion mark. It is at $7.17 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 9.77% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, based on these numbers, guys, looks like because of the SEC going after Ethereum, a lot of transaction has reduced, isn't it? But it is a good thing that the price is relatively consistent. Now, if you look at the total value locked, guys, it is at $93.17 billion. Now, let's say, guys, for some wild circumstance, if the US Security and Exchange Commission does actually go against the Ethereum Foundation, and if you do find out that an Ethereum spot ETF is not going to be approved, the total value locked, guys, will completely crash, isn't it? And I wouldn't be surprised if the total value locked right now from $93 billion goes well below the $30 billion mark as well. And along with DeFi, guys, I'm pretty much sure it's going to take down the price of Bitcoin as well, isn't it? But listen, guys, because BlackRock is getting into Ethereum spot ETF, I do have this confidence in stating that an Ethereum spot ETF most likely will be approved. And who's to say, guys, the investigation regarding the Ethereum Foundation and Ethereum also completely disappears. We'll just have to wait for a few days, I guess. Now, so far as the dominance is concerned, guys, Lido is still dominating with $33.49 billion. And so far as decentralized exchange dominance is concerned, today, guys, it is at 18.51%. Last week, guys, for all 4 days, that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, decentralized exchange dominance was over 30%, isn't it? And last week, guys, that metric is something that I particularly liked. Now, this week, guys, I'm not looking at the decentralized exchange dominance to increase, but as long as the dominance percentage is consistent, to be honest, guys, I would be content with that as well. At least that way we would know that there is something not notorious going on in the decentralized exchange world. Now, so far as DeFi is concerned, guys, It is accounting for only 9.77% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, if you look at the volume of decentralized exchange, guys, Uniswap's volume is definitely looking good. It is well past the $1.5 billion mark. It is at $1.57 billion. But look, as the second decentralized exchange, the volume has drastically gone down. It is well below the $400 billion mark. It is at only $398.63 billion, and that is to do with Orca. Now, this metric, guys, is extremely strange, considering the fact that we did have a Duncan upgrade that would actually make using decentralized exchanges and swaps easier, isn't it? So all of a sudden the volumes have gone down. That is absolutely bizarre and strange, to be honest. It is probably only because of SEC knocking on Ethereum Foundation, isn't it? Now, if you look at the 24-hour volume of PancakeSwap, guys, it is at $398.01 million. Thorchain, guys, is at number 4th, and its volume is $271.99 million. And Phoenix, guys, is at number 5th, and its volume is well below the $200 million mark. It is at $197.09 million. Now, let me very quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, guys, because these numbers are relatively okay, considering the fact since the last few weeks, the volume of stablecoin has been fluctuating quite a lot, isn't it? Now, so far as the volume is concerned, it is at $64.42 billion, and stablecoins is accounting for 87.95% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And guys, Tether USDT is clearly leading the pack, and its 24-hour volume is $52.62 billion, followed by FDUSD, and its volume is $5.60 billion. And at this point of time, guys, it has definitely overtaken Circle USDC, and its volume is $5.19 billion. Now look, guys, what I tend to do is on my Crypto Coffee Date podcast, before I look at the king of all kings, I usually tend to break down any particular project, any particular protocol, or anything new that is going on in the cryptocurrency world, isn't it? Now this week, guys, I'm going to be focusing on stable coins. Last week, I went and explained everything regarding tokenization. So if you're someone who is new listening to the Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, and if you do want to learn anything regarding tokenization, I would strongly recommend you to listen to my episodes Monday to Thursdays. This week, guys, I'm going to be focusing on stable coins, and I thought because FDUSD has been overtaking Circle USDC, and this has been happening only since the last 2 weeks, isn't it? So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and explain what FDUSD is. We'll go ahead and look at some of the features for it, and then, guys, I'm also going to share some of the positives and negatives of FDUSD. Now, really, I'm curious to check, guys, why Circle USDC hasn't said anything regarding FDUSD. Hopefully, we do not have a silent war between Circle USDC and the issuers of FDUSD. Now, let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance. Because to be honest, guys, the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin and Ethereum is not looking good. Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume has gone down to $26.26 billion, and Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $12.06 billion. Now, if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, guys, it is at $1.32 trillion, whereas Ethereum is at $415 billion. Now, the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, is at 51.78%, whereas Ethereum's dominance is 16.30%. Now, since the last few weeks, guys, there's so much of hype surrounding NFTs, isn't it? So in today's episode, guys, let's take a deep dive into NFT market share. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to be looking at the top 5 NFT marketplaces, and I'm just going to be sharing out the percentage. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, if you do want to go ahead and check this data, you can go to DeFiLlama.com, and they've gone ahead and added new sections, to be honest, and it looks like every week they're going ahead and adding some data, and the information that DeFiLlama provides, guys, is extremely crystal clear. Now, so far as NFT market share is concerned, guys, Blur is definitely leading the pack, and it is accounting for 63.83% of the market share. And it's needless to say, guys, that OpenSea is not happy about, isn't it? The second one is also Blur Aggregator, guys, and it is accounting for 16.65%. And because of this, guys, OpenSea is at number 3rd, and it is accounting for only 14.86%. So let me know, guys, what NFT marketplaces you tend to use in order to, let's say, buy, sell, or even trade any of your NFTs. Now look, guys, if you want to go ahead and upload and sell your own NFTs, OpenSea is definitely the place to go, or you can definitely go ahead and have a look at Blur as well. Now the number 4th, guys, is Gem, and it is accounting for 1.69%. The number 5th, guys, is X2Y2, and it is accounting for 1.26%. Last week, guys, we talked about Aichi, and NFT, I believe it got sold for $4.3 million, isn't it? And that actually did get sold on a marketplace called as Fortune, but it is still not in the top 5 platform, to be honest. Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, let me quickly go ahead and explain the stablecoin called as FDUSD, and I'll go ahead and explain its stability features and its efficiency, and how FDUSD maintains its value and some of the special features. Now, if you're someone who's using FDUSD, guys, drop your experience in the comment section below. Now, so far as FDUSD is concerned, guys, FDUSD is a type of digital currency known as stablecoin, and what makes it stable is that it is backed by traditional fiat currencies, just like regular dollars, and for every FDUSD in circulation, there is a corresponding real dollar sitting in bank account somewhere, and the ticker symbol, guys, for FDUSD is F for Frank, D for David, U for umbrella, S for sugar, and D for David. So the big question, guys, is why is FDUSD useful? And there are 2 points I'd like to talk about. First one is the stability feature, and the second one is the efficiency. Now, so far stability is concerned, because FDUSD, guys, is tied to real dollars, its value doesn't swing wildly like some other cryptocurrencies, and this stability makes it attractive for people who want to avoid the uncertainty that often comes with investing in regular cryptocurrencies. Now, so far as efficiency is concerned, guys, using FDUSD can make financial transactions faster, cheaper, and more secure compared to traditional methods. Now, the big question, guys, is how does FDUSD maintain its value? Now, FDUSD, guys, stays stable, and they do that by making sure there's always enough money backing it up. So for every FDUSD out there, there's a real dollar sitting in reserve to back it up, and this guarantee of value is critical, guys. It's literally like saying FDUSD is there for real dollar, and there is absolutely no problem. Now, the big question, guys, is how is FDUSD managed? Now, FDUSD, guys, is kept safe and reliable to careful management and supervision, and there are extremely strict rules in place to make sure that for every FDUSD in circulation, there's a corresponding real dollar in value, and this management, guys, is usually done by a trusted institution and companies that handle the money and make sure that everything is in order. The so far as FDUSD issue is concerned, guys, FDUSD, guys, was issued by a subsidiary of Hong Kong headquartered financial firm called as First Digital Limited, and FDUSD, guys, was launched in June of 2023, and right now it is launched on Ethereum and Binance BNB chain network, and they definitely plan to do that on other blockchains in the near future as well. So listen, guys, if you want to go ahead and do more investigation, First Digital Trust Limited is something that you need to look at, and we need to go ahead and look if it is a legitimate company, isn't it? More importantly, guys, we need to find out who the founders are, and are there any notorious players involved in that. Let me go ahead and talk about some of the special features, guys, of FDUSD, because FDUSD can be programmed to do many things, like handling financial contracts, acting as a kind of middleman for transactions, or providing insurance as well. This means, guys, you can use it for all sort of financial activities without needing a middleman. So essentially, in simple terms, FDUSD is like digital money that always works the same way as regular dollars because it is backed by them, and it is useful because it is stable, fast, cheap, and secure as well, and it is managed carefully to make sure it stays that way. And right now, guys, it is overtaking Circle USDC's 24-hour volume, and that is an absolutely massive thing, isn't it? Now, let me very briefly touch base on some of the positive things of FDUSD, guys, as well as some of the negative aspects of it. Now, stability is definitely a positive thing, and FDUSD, guys, maintains a stable value because it is backed by real fiat currency, making it more reliable for everyday transactions and less susceptible to extreme price fluctuations seen in other cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And so far as reduced volatility is concerned, its stability makes it appealing to investors and merchants who are cautious about volatility that is commonly associated with traditional currencies. And this stability, guys, can ensure broader adoption and use in various financial transactions. Now, so far as efficiency is concerned, FDUSD can streamline financial transactions by reducing cost and processing times, and it can also facilitate faster cross-border transactions, and it can do that with lower fees compared to traditional bank systems, thereby enhancing financial inclusivity and accessibility. And so far security is concerned, guys, the rigorous custodial arrangement and reserve-backed nature of FDUSD provide users with confidence in reliability and security, and knowing that each FDUSD is backed by an equivalent form of fiat currency often assures against potential losses. And so far as programmability is concerned, guys, FDUSD's programmable nature allows for development of innovative financial applications such as smart contract, escrow services, and insurance, and we can do that without the need of intermediaries, and this can lead to increased efficiency, transparency, and automation in various financial processes. Now look, guys, all this thing being said, it does have some negatives and drawbacks as well, so let me go ahead and highlight some of the negatives of FDUSD. Now look, guys, I'm not a fan of stablecoin issuers, because according to me, guys, these stablecoin issuers are notoriously known for replacing the role of a bank, isn't it? And to be honest, guys, I'd really recommend you to do more research regarding Financial Digital Trust Limited. I wouldn't be surprised if it is one of the failed projects who have gone ahead and resurrected and started this project. And if that thing happens, guys, is there a possibility for FDUSD to collapse as well? You never know, so we definitely need to go ahead and do more research. Now, so far as negatives is concerned, guys, centralization is a massive concern, and the management and control of FDUSD reserves, guys, are typically centralized, thereby raising concerns about the potential single point of failures in it. Then you also have regulatory risks and counterparty risks, and users may actually worry about the concentration of power in the hands of a few custodians or issuers. Now, so far as dependence of fiat currency is concerned, guys, FDUSD stability relies on the stability of the underlying fiat currency, and if the fiat currency experiences significant devaluation or inflation, it could significantly impact the value of trustworthiness of FDUSD, potentially leading to loss of confidence among users. And look, as regulatory risk is a negative factor as well, and the regulatory landscape surrounding stablecoins like FDUSD is evolving, and with potential changes in regulations posing risks to operations and legality, regulatory uncertainty could impact the ability to use and trade FDUSD in certain jurisdictions, thereby limiting its usability and adoption, to be honest. And so far as counterparty risk is concerned, listen guys, while FDUSD issuers aim to maintain one-to-one peg with fiat currency reserves, there is always a risk of management, fraud or insolvency on the part of the custodian or issuers in it. And listen to this guys, if the issuer fails to honor redemption or mismanages reserve, it could undermine trust in FDUSD and lead to financial losses for users. And we've definitely seen collapse of algorithmically backed stablecoin as well as in it. And finally guys, decentralization. Now look, while some stablecoins strive for decentralization, FDUSD may be subject to centralization due to the control exerted by custodians or even issuers over reserve management and governance, and this centralization could contradict the principles of decentralization and trustlessness that is inherent in many cryptocurrencies. So listen guys, it's really crucial that we truly understand the positive and negatives so that we are better informed to make decisions about whether FDUSD is the right way to go as in it. Those are my honest thoughts. And look guys, if you're someone who's using FDUSD, mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now the price of Bitcoin guys isn't doing that bad, but it is definitely much better than last week. And right now guys, the price of Bitcoin is at $66,988. Now since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.41%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.89%. And the reason why it was down guys is because of the CPI numbers, that is the inflation numbers were high, and Jerome Powell decided to go ahead and keep the interest rate high the same as it. Apart from that, we also had a lot of outflows so far as Grayscale is concerned. But because of that guys, the prices did actually go down. But look, there is halving coming up in the next few months, and I'm pretty much sure because of that, the price is definitely going to be heading towards the moon. But look guys, so far as price prediction is concerned, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, isn't it? Now so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is at $3,444. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.62%. Since the last 7 days though, it is down by 5.58%. Binance BNB chain guys is at number 3rd, and the price is $570. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.16%. And since the last 7 days guys, it is down by 0.86%. Now look guys, the global cryptocurrency market is relatively better, to be honest, considering the fact that there was so much drama going on last week. Now which way are we going to head towards? Most likely towards the moon, and that is exactly what President Nayib Bukele is banking on. And he recently announced guys that El Salvador will plan to buy 1 Bitcoin every day, and he's aiming to continue this practice until it becomes unfavorable with fiat currencies. And this initiative guys has pushed the nation's Bitcoin holding to a substantial total of 5,690 Bitcoin, which is currently valued at $400 million. Now definitely positive news. Now it's really important to note guys that President Nayib Bukele disclosed that a significant portion of these assets, which is approximately $400 million worth of Bitcoin, has been moved to an offline device that is stored in a physical vault within the nation's territory. Now look guys, I have mixed reaction to this. Looks like he's definitely wanting to go out and help the people, and if the price of Bitcoin reaches to let's say 1 million per Bitcoin, it'll definitely be a genius move. But the big question is, what happens if there is a fork of Bitcoin, and a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists do not like the idea that any country should go out and make it a legal tender, Because look guys, as much as I dislike saying this, an autocratic style of leader such as even North Korea, they can force their citizens to go ahead and use Bitcoin, isn't it? Which in hindsight goes against why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was created so that transactions take place between peer-to-peer, and there should either be no government involved, be it negative or even positive news. But so far as El Salvador is concerned, guys, at least his intention is great. So I really am hoping the price of one Bitcoin reaches 1 million. And if that thing happens, guys, it just might be a genius move by President Nayib Bukele, isn't it? Now, could it be possible that other countries follow similar pursuit? What about countries like Argentina or Zimbabwe or any other underdevelopment countries? Only time will tell, I guess. Now, guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news, and this is to do with Polygon. And guys, the Polygon ZkEVM Ethereum Layer 2 blockchain experienced a downtime on 23rd of March. And what happened, guys, because of this? They failed to produce blocks for over 10 hours. And this is absolutely dreadful news, isn't it? Now, if you do want to go and read through the official article, guys, it is published via the blog. Now, what that article does actually state is that the Polygon ZkEVM outage did not affect Polygon main blockchain or any other chains designed with Polygon Change Development Kit, also called a CDK kit. And the Polygon ZkEVM team has officially acknowledged the event, and they plan to go ahead and release a post-mortem. Now, really, I'm not sure at this point of time it is being fixed or not, because this event did actually take place on the 23rd of March, and it has been well over 48 hours. Now, if you're someone who uses Polygon ZkEVM Ethereum Layer 2 blockchain, let me know, guys, and let me know what the whole drama is. And if you're a technical geek and knows how to go and explain it, we can probably do a standalone episode on it as well, probably for 20 minutes or maybe even longer, so that users can understand what the fault was and how it has been rectified. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama all the way from Europe. And the European Parliament Committee, guys, has approved a ban on cryptocurrency transactions via hosted wallet, thereby expanding money laundering laws. And most members, guys, do actually support this. But Pratik Beyer and Grunberg have dissented, and they have gone ahead and put out a couple of tweets as well. Now, it's really important to note, guys, that this ban targets third-party services like exchanges. Additionally, legislation restricts cash transactions, banning anonymous payments over a certain threshold, and I'll go ahead and touch base on what the threshold is. And so far as this news is concerned, guys, they claim that it aims to combat money laundering and terrorist financing in crypto, challenging its fundamental anonymity principle. Now, so far as the new legislation is concerned, guys, it is expected to be fully operational within 3 years from its entry into force. However, Delano States, which is an Ireland-based law firm, does actually expect the legislation to become operational earlier. And also, guys, the new AML legislation applies certain limits for cash transactions and anonymous crypto payments. And under the new rule, anonymous cash transaction payments over 3,000 euros will be banned in commercial transactions, and cash payment over 10,000 euros will be completely banned in business transactions. Now, if you do want to go ahead and look at more information, guys, the official article is in the show notes below. So definitely not a positive news, isn't it? Now, wouldn't be surprised, guys, in this time, the European Union will be pushing to a central bank digital currency, isn't it? And there are a couple of dangers, guys, of central bank digital currency that we need to be aware about. So definitely unfortunate news. But so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, guys, it's going to be really interesting to see how people go ahead and educate the members of the parliament on cryptocurrencies. And let's see if there is some positive development from it. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding Apple. And security researchers, guys, have discovered the vulnerabilities in Apple's M series chip that could actually allow hackers to steal cryptographic keys from Apple's device, including crypto wallets. And the vulnerability, guys, known as GoFudge exploit, targets the computer CPU cache through data memory dependent prefetchers built into chips. Now, look, guys, Apple has been notified of the findings, and they have provided a workaround to mitigate the attack, but it may slow down some application performance as well. Now, this news, guys, is actually published via Decrypt, and if you're an Apple fanatic, you definitely need to go ahead and check it out, because most of the newer devices are M series, isn't it? So definitely a crucial vulnerability, and listen, guys, you definitely need to go ahead and check it out. So those were some macro level news, guys, of the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from the UAE and the Middle East. And both the news, guys, are events that I'm conducting on the 15th of April. And the first session, guys, is Metaverse, the Hype Reality and New World Order. And this is an online session that takes place on 15th of April from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. Now listen, guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And if you do want to go ahead and register for the session, guys, the registration link is in the show notes below. Alternatively, guys, you can go to eventbrite.com and just search for blockchain DXB, or guys, just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. I'll go ahead and register you for it. Now let me go ahead and explain what is it that you can go ahead and expect at this session. Now this session, guys, is focusing on Metaverse, and the whole idea is that we want to educate the people on Metaverse. So we'll go ahead and look at the hype surrounding Metaverse, understanding Metaverse and its impact. We'll also go ahead and look at institutions and companies joining on board. Now every Fridays, guys, I used to have a series called as Metaverse Everything, and I used to look at the technological development, the software, the challenges, and quite a lot of other. And in every Metaverse Everything, guys, I used to highlight 5 news from Dubai, UAE, and Middle East, and 5 Metaverse news from around the world. So I'll go ahead and explain what I used to cover in my Metaverse Everything podcast as well. And we'll also focus on reality versus expectations. We'll look at the hardware and software limitations of as Metaverse is concerned, and we will look at the real life use cases. And listen, guys, when I did my first session on Metaverse, I very specifically mentioned about Nvidia. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, Nvidia's valuation back then was roughly around $300 billion. And they are dealing with semiconductors and nanochips, isn't it? And from that point of time, guys, right now they are pumped up by $1 trillion. Now, granted, that is more to do with artificial intelligence, but from a business point of view and from an institutional point of view, these are sectors of industry you need to be looking at. And we'll also talk about New World Order, guys. And will the United States of America have a competitive advantage, or will it be other countries who will be taking leaps and bounds ahead so far as Metaverse is concerned? And I'll also go ahead and share what is it that countries can do to be an early adopter in the Metaverse. So essentially, guys, this session is completely free of cost, and it is broken down into 3 parts. That is Part A, Part B, and Part C. So let me give you a breakdown on what is it that you can expect at this session. Cause in Part A, guys, we would look at the history of Metaverse. What is the Metaverse? We'll go ahead and delve into the hype regarding Metaverse. The look, guys, ever since Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta, everyone on LinkedIn became experts on Metaverse overnight. So we'll go ahead and discuss the hype regarding Metaverse. And guys, there was a report which was published in the later part of 2023, which did actually state that over 90% of investors did actually lose money in Metaverse, and all of the investment in 2022 particularly were in complete losses. So we'll go ahead and explore the hype regarding Metaverse. We'll take a deep dive into the hardware and software regarding Metaverse. And guys, in Part C, this is an area which I particularly like, and I'll go ahead and discuss areas where Metaverse merges with the physical world. We'll go ahead and look at, do we need blockchain technology in the Metaverse? Do we require cryptocurrencies? Or will central bank digital currencies be an ideal fit in the Metaverse? Now look, guys, as much as I hate saying this, blockchain technology at this point of time won't be an ideal fit in the Metaverse, because when you talk about Metaverse, guys, the user experience has to be 10 times better than what you're currently experiencing, isn't it? And unfortunately, guys, the user experience in some of the so-called blockchain protocol are literally going 10 times backwards. So we'll go ahead and discuss the limited areas where blockchain technology could actually merge with Metaverse. I'll go ahead and discuss some of the news and events surrounding Metaverse, particularly in Dubai as well. And in Part B, guys, we'll also dwell into NFTs in Metaverse and what role can NFT actually play in Metaverse. Now, with the advent of ChatGPT 4, could it be possible to have an AI-enabled NFTs and in the form of avatar? That would be an absolute game changer, isn't it? So we'll take a look at all those things in Part B, guys. Now in Part C, guys, I'm going to be talking about Dubai Metaverse strategy. Now look, guys, because there was so much of hype regarding Metaverse, there is a Metaverse strategy which was developed in Dubai. Unfortunately, guys, the hype regarding Metaverse seemed to have died down. Now there's a legal body which was created, and that legal body right now is in charge of artificial intelligence as well. Now listen, guys, one of the visions of Sheikh Hamdan is for Dubai to be the top 10 city in the world so far as Metaverse is concerned. So we'll go ahead and look at what role Dubai is playing in the Metaverse. And there is also Dubai Metaverse Assembly, guys, and they did have, if not one of the biggest events probably in the entire world, at the most beautiful building probably in the entire world. That is the Museum of Future. And I do have a standalone episode with Richa Patel, and she was the sole person responsible for Dubai Metaverse Assembly event. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on some of the key elements regarding Dubai Metaverse Assembly. And listen, guys, if you want to go ahead and network with people connected in Dubai Metaverse, I'll go ahead and explain those areas as well. So it's definitely going to be a really fun session, guys. And if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, historically, guys, there's been a high turnout for this particular event, and I'm hoping that the hype regarding Metaverse does not die, at least for now. Now, on the same day, guys, I do have a second event, and that is called a central bank digital currency. And this particular session, guys, takes place on the 15th of April as well. But this session is from 2 p.m. in the afternoon to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So let me go ahead and briefly explain what is it that you can expect at this session. Again, guys, the session is completely free of cost. And this session, guys, is broken down into 3 parts. That is Part A, Part B, and Part C. So let me very briefly explain what is it that you can expect in this session, guys. So these session, guys, would roughly last for 25 to 30 minutes. So let me go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at this session. Now in Part A, guys, we would look at what is central bank digital currency. We would look at the history of CBDCs. How do CBDCs actually work? We would also look at the current state of central bank digital currency and the different countries studying. And we'll also take a deep dive into the countries currently studying, working, or implementing central bank digital currency. Now look, guys, ever since El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender, the World Bank and IMF are completely baffled regarding this. So we'll go ahead and discuss El Salvador adopting Bitcoin and its impact. And guys, we'll also go ahead and touch base on IMF's stance on central bank digital currency. And United Arab Emirates, guys, they're already part of CBDCs. And currently they're working on MCBDC, that is multiple CBDC. Now these are sessions, guys, I'm going to be talking about in Part A. But my favorite one, guys, is Part B. And Part B, guys, starts with making a quick comparison between central bank digital currency versus Bitcoin. And then we will answer this basic question: are CBDCs a threat to freedom? Now, once you make a quick comparison, guys, between CBDC and Bitcoin, you can make up your own mind if they are a threat to freedom or not. And then we'll also look at political implications of central bank digital currency. And from a political point of view, guys, we would look at the political ideologies that support or resist central bank digital currency. We would look at different countries, different political ideologies in different regions as well. We would also look at China's role in central bank digital currency. Now look, as so far central bank digital currency is concerned, China has leaps and bounds ahead so far as other countries is concerned in the world of CBDC realm, and they have been working on CBDCs going back to almost a decade. But at the same time, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? We'll take a deep dive into that. Now it's really important to note, guys, that there are 3 different types of CBDCs. So in Part B, we would look at the different types of central bank digital currency, because we have wholesale CBDC, and wholesale CBDCs, guys, are used by banks and financial institutions to go ahead and make any settlements. The second one is retail CBDC, and retail CBDC is something you and me in on average daily transactions will be using, let's say at a grocery store, coffee shop, or watching movies. And finally, guys, we have multi-CBDC, that is transaction done with other countries, and UAE country is already part of multiple CBDC. And in guys, Part B, guys, I'm also going to be discussing a controversial topic, that is central bank digital currency's role in the Metaverse. Now look, guys, I'm a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, guys, when it comes to Metaverse, I do feel that central bank digital currency will play an ideal fit, at least for now. Because look, when you talk about Metaverse, it is all about the user experience, isn't it? And as much as we like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, the user experience is absolutely horrendous. But when you talk about central bank digital currency, it will be something similar to using your banking app, and more importantly, there will be customer service, there will be chargebacks, and quite a lot of other. And look, guys, one of the biggest innovation in Ethereum was actually the burning mechanism, where X number of Ethereum completely gets burned and taken out from the supply. Now, can central bank digital currency implement the burning mechanism? Definitely yes, which would mean, guys, the excess supply can disappear from the market, and that would be a great idea to go ahead and manage inflation. So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on that as well. Now all this, guys, I'll go ahead and cover it in Part B. And in Part C, guys, that'll be more focused towards UAE Central Bank. And UAE Central Bank, guys, they have released a Fed program, and they're focusing on 9 core areas. So I'll very briefly touch base on that, because those are not necessarily connected to central bank digital currency, but it is more of an initiative done by the UAE Central Bank. So we have the card domestic scheme, you have eKYC, you have the central bank digital currency or CBDC, you have open finance, you have supervisory technology, also called a SupTech, you have innovation hub, you have instant payment platform, you have financial control, and you have excellence and customer experience. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on these points, but we won't go into details of these, guys, as it is not directly connected to central bank digital currency, but I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on some of these points. And what is it that the UAE Central Bank is doing so far central bank digital currency is concerned? So this session, guys, is completely free of cost, and you can register it via the registration link below, or drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Alternatively, guys, you can go to eventbrite.com and just for blockchain DXB, and you'll see different events, and you can register it completely free of cost. Now look, guys, if you're a project or protocol or offering services as blockchain as a service or Web3 as a service, and if you do want to go ahead and advertise or sponsor any of these sessions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. What I will do is I'll go ahead and mention your name at the beginning of the episode, during the episode, and towards the end as well. And depending on the different packages, guys, I'll go ahead and mention your name in each and every slides and quite a lot of other, and we can definitely go ahead and negotiate on that. And that's about all, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee Update from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question, guys, from Arthur who asks, is there a trend or matrix that surprises you the most? Now look, Arthur, to be completely honest, in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world, every matrix surprises me, and most often than not it is in a negative way. Very rarely it is in a positive way. And to be honest, Arthur, there are different narratives that tend to play out. Now going back to 2018 and 19, a lot of matrix used to be around DeFi, and at that point of time I used to be completely baffled with the number of DeFi protocols coming up and different innovation, and some of them were so complicated it did not make any sense. And if you look at the volume of DeFi back then, it was ridiculously high. And then the narrative changed regarding NFTs, and at that point of time what really surprised me, to be honest, a lot of misleading and incorrect information that was circulating regarding NFTs in the LinkedIn world. And I used to see so many misleading posts regarding NFTs on LinkedIn, and roughly around a year ago, Arthur, someone did actually make abbreviations trying to explain what blockchain and Web3 is, and he did put out at least 30 different abbreviations, and surprisingly 10 of them were completely wrong. So those are the things that actually surprised me. Now look, people are completely entitled to go out their own opinion, but make sure that you do not put out incorrect or false information. And what I'm noticing right now, so far as LinkedIn is concerned, a lot of misleading information is actually put out. And one of the articles did actually state was the DeFi volume was $2 trillion, and at that point of time the market cap of Bitcoin and the entire global cryptocurrency market was only at $1.6 trillion. And the person who did actually put out that message was someone working in the DeFi space, and I did actually tell him that the DeFi volume has never crossed the $2 trillion mark, and he actually replied stating, what? It has always crossed the $1 trillion mark. So these are some metrics or some messages that really surprised me. Now in 2023, Arthur, if you were to ask me what was surprising, it was 100% stable coins, because the volume of stable coins was ridiculously low, but Tether was minting Tether USDT for no apparent reason, and the market cap of Tether USDT was on the verge of crossing the $100 billion mark, whereas the 24-hour volume was less than $30 billion. So I really am not sure why they were creating new Tether USDT. 2023, in all honesty, it was all about stablecoin. That did actually surprise me. 2024, what I'm looking at is the DeFi exchanges is surprising me, and to be honest, the numbers do not make any sense. And I wouldn't be surprised, because the price is increasing, a lot of notorious activity might be taking place in the world of decentralized exchanges, and who's to say a lot of cartel members might be getting into buying a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum using decentralized exchanges. Because look, on certain days the volume of Uniswap crosses the $3.5 billion mark, but on an average given date is at $500 to $600 million. That is a massive anomaly, isn't it? Now granted, there might be some explanation, but these explanations do not match up. Let's say if you look at the 24-hour volume, if you compare it with the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, and if you look at what is actually going on, it actually does not surprise. Another metric out of which I'm definitely surprised by is the number of decentralized apps that are working in so-called blockchain and Web3 space. Now look, as much as I hate saying this, a lot of the hype regarding Web 3.0 and blockchain is actually not in play. The number of people actually using decentralized apps is ridiculously less. Ideally, this should have been at least 100 times more than what it is right now. Because look, we talk about Web 3.0 and blockchain technology. It is more than a decade-old system. This whole terminology of Web 3.0 is well more than a decade old. Now granted, Ethereum is less than a decade old, but even then, if you look at the decentralized apps, some of the top 3 dApps in the top blockchain protocol have a transaction volume of less than $30, and these are scary metrics, and these are metrics that definitely do surprise me. But one metric which I'm not surprised is the dominance of Bitcoin. It is relatively consistent. Now, because it is consistent, that should be a surprising factor as well, isn't it? And look, out of the cryptocurrency world is absolutely bizarre and crazy. What I'd really recommend our listeners to do is focus on the technology, try to understand what Bitcoin is, and once you truly understand what Bitcoin is, you will truly understand what Bitcoin is not. Or do we require Ethereum, blockchain, or DeFi? Really, I'm not sure, to be honest. Those are my honest thoughts, but definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other 2 news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.